okay, this may be definitely an somewhat off-putting maybe question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Are you guys just not the most popular kids in you must be not super popular amongst the academics? Hey, let me try to reproduce your work, right? So how do you like what is the reception of the community? And of course, there's definitely people that I'm sure back you and are very, very supportive of what you do. But how about the general community? What is their appetite for what you're doing?
That's a great question. Yeah, I would say, sometimes don't make friends. So there's a way to get past that too. Like the approach I've always tried to model, right? And we do this in other projects as well in different disciplines is it's not about we're not trying to point the finger at anybody. It's not about a blaming. It's just really saying, listen, this is what was a cornerstone of research. We should be able to take information and have somebody independently do it again. Because if not, then what are we doing, right? What are we doing in this prize? At the same note, you're absolutely right. People get really upset with us. So, right, it's like, try to take that high road as best as possible. And it's totally human nature, right? It's like, Tim, I can't believe you're doing it. I would do. If somebody came to me and was like, I'm going to replicate your results, I'd be like, whoa, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? The big thing that we try to do is our study was never about, like I said, pointing fingers or trying to say there was a reason. We did it because we're like, that's a really important paper. Lots of people are using it. They're reading it. They're citing it. That's awesome. So let's see if we can replicate it, right? I think the response kind of changes over time, and it depends on a bit who you want. I think early on in the project, for sure, there were definitely people that were glad we were doing this. And the reason why is because of what I just told you, the rationale, which is good. You're doing it in the open. You're doing it the way it's supposed to be done. It was easy to say a number. It's much more important for us to show our evidence. Okay, so I think we got some people on the right board. At the other time, I thought some people were like, no, the way you're doing this is all wrong. You're basically, this is not going to help science. You're kind of airing dirty laundry. Like, this is not good for what things are doing. All the way to people saying this is a silly idea. It doesn't matter what you find. You're never going to make a difference. So I got the full spectrum before, but it does kind of change over time. And there's an example by even looking at other disciplines who have wrestled with this. And I think right now we're at a stage where there's probably still some people, and it's easy to not find them. I actually do appreciate hearing it, which is still thinking, this doesn't make a difference. But I think now it's kind of more of an acknowledgement, like, we're not as replicable as we should be, not as reproducible as we should be. What are we going to do about this? And that's actually completely changes the tone. So before, you just get like your champions, the people who've kind of already appreciated it from a different venue of, yes, there's something we should do. I think that just takes took almost 10 years to get to what I'm saying now. If we look at psychology, just like we'll use another discipline as an example, because that's one that went through a similar project that Brian Nosek, our CEO, led. They had the same issues, the same confrontation early on. Now they're a little bit farther along in their journey than we are in the preclinical space. And I can tell you right now that it's much more normative to talk about it and even do replications. So the tenor changes completely to where the culture almost is saying, okay, yeah, we can do this. And I kind of almost expect people to do it. I think that still requires the whole system. Like, that's why that incentive piece is so important, right? Which is, it's you still have to reward it in order for people to keep doing it. They're not going to do it on their own behavior. But yeah, it's a really good question. And I still there are times that, like I said, I still know that there are groups that are just not still happy to hear about this. But I think hopefully the people's gotten to, let's just accept that this is an issue. And now what are we going to do about it to make our research more rigorous?